right, hello. I mentioned, if you caught that I was going to do something special and different, some tea leaves readings for the first time on the channel. And I'm adding tarot to suss out the messages. Yeah, like I don't claim to be super good at this. So you can take it for what it is, you know what I mean? Yeah, I want to tell you about the process leading up to these readings being ready for you. I don't know how much to say and how much to leave out. I think if you're just uninterested completely and want to go straight to the readings, the timestamps will be down there, but I don't know. I think the process has been interesting. Okay, I'm going to show you these cups and I'll show you the decks that I'm using with them. And anything else, we'll see what I open my big mouth about. Okay, right. So there are two. I contemplated three, kept coming back to two. Not sure. There's a lot about the process leading up to this that has been very different for me. The amount of intentionality that has gone into this, the preparation is unlike anything I've ever done on my channel. I'm telling you, I've never sat with energy so long, like consciously, the way I have for these. You know, it's been wild. And I think I do want to point out that these two are very different from each other. These two groups, these two cups. I think there's a strong chance that, you can wholly reject one or both of these. Like, I am not sure who they're for. I like to think that each of them has some rightful recipient that will find it. Probably someone I've connected with before. That's the way I always feel. So for the first cup, this one, it has, the lighting is awful. It's nighttime. I wanted to do this earlier, but it didn't work out. Anyway, okay, so yeah, the first cup has these little roses, little flowers, silver touches. Okay, the tea that I drink from this cup is black tea with rose petals, and the deck that I am using is a Linestrider. Let's just cut and see where we are. The Magician. It's whatever. The Linestrider. Okay. Second cup is this guy with gold touches. And the tea that I drank with this, yeah, I don't usually do the intros afterward, but say everything's been different. The tea that I drank with this one is black tea with vanilla bean, and I did add some creamer to that. And the tarot deck is this Moravia. So that's kind of what you have going on for 1 and 2. Well, that would be fun. The process has been remarkable. I think I will give these a further hint. You can take it or leave it. You can go ahead and leave the intro, or you can hear me out. The first cup was flowing, just flowing, very relaxed, very easy, and very ready, I will say. The second cup was very challenging. I was feeling very particular about all the details leading up, encountering a lot of obstacles along the way with this one, and it's just it was more challenging. So I would say, if you find yourself feeling one of these two ways, you may be drawn more to one than the other, because they're very different readings. Okay. I guess that's enough. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in riddles. So anyway, I think that's everything. Yeah. There is a Lunar New Year reading coming. I don't know. I might not get it out until Tuesday, February 17th for the solar eclipse and the Lunar New Year. That's my plan. I could be delayed or it could be early. We'll see. Anyway, enjoy, I hope. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay. Went deep into the cup. I'm going to use this Linestrider, little tiny Linestrider deck to just get a pair card for each symbol that I received, maybe to clarify some messages, but I'm going to basically begin. So for the most part, there's a lot of more immediate activity for this cup. We're talking springtime, February, March, April, and maybe getting into May and even into June. So these next few months are really a heavier activity. One of the first things I noticed was about something leading up to this moment. Okay, we have a tower, and that's going with a seahorse that I saw. Okay. So I feel this is basically speaking about something that happened that affected, I just want to say your pH, you know what I mean? Like there's something about an upset to your balance, an upset to your fragility. It could be that something ended, something that you felt imbalanced, something that felt to be taking you for granted, taking you, taking advantage of your more delicate nature, the parts of you that are more sensitive and delicate. Anyway, that's leading up to where you are now, which is, so that's just speaking to me, something I noticed right away, that there's something that propelled you to this place where you are right now. And it was something that was unexpected, provided a lot of clarity, and demonstrated to you or conveyed to you something in yourself, probably in your heart, that needs to be protected, some aspect of who you are that can't be mishandled, basically. That's the idea that I'm getting. But let's move on. Very immediate here, we have this here. Okay. I have Four of Cups with what I saw as a a bouquet. This is very immediate. This feels like right now, for the most part, for anybody who's this is for. My feeling here is that you're in a kind of there's a lackluster feeling to an offer. There's a feeling of indifference around, it could be a possibility or something that someone wants to give you. Possibly an offer or offers are coming in, but they're just not quite what you have in mind. I have a feeling, though, that you have been communicating to your source, your higher self, your spirit realm team. And let me get what is coming from this. Okay, yes. I have the Empress with what I saw as an angel. So this is you putting in a communication to, like I said, your source, your higher self, your team, your guides, your angels, if you will. You are looking for something better, the best, the match, the right thing for yourself. Something beautiful, something loving, something real, something fruitful, something that matches you. And then, interestingly enough, yes, okay. That, I don't think I caught it at the moment, but that image transformed. Let me see what I have here. Oh my goodness, okay. So that image of the angel transformed into a stingray. And I have here the sun. So you've got an angel with Empress and stingray with the sun. Stingray is another delicate creature. Not delicate, I mean, they're technically like sharks, but they have a delicate and graceful nature, such as does the seahorse. So it's interesting. These two water creatures, I see you kind of immediately and recently, kind of in your feelings, and also nothing really sparking and giving, nothing really coming your way that is that all that has been all that enticing. But there's been this communication with your, higher guides, and it's about what you really want. And this is transforming into, when I say this stingray in the sun, it's generally a feeling of being of what you want is coming, is being delivered. It's a feeling of something very beautiful on the horizon. Like I'm really just putting these images together, and it's almost too easy, but I'm seeing, you ever, I don't know what they call a group of stingrays. I don't know if that's a pod or a school in the water, but if you've seen images of a group of them swimming together, and they're so graceful, and if you can imagine like looking from beneath up, and there's sun in the sky, so you've got that beautiful light dance that happens in the water. So I see what is happening here is your communication to your guides and your powers is being transformed into a gift and a delivery, and a lot of optimism and hope. It's heard, it's connected, and it's there's a real feeling of spirit, spirit realm activity around teaming up and bringing this forth, because it's for the greater good. Okay, then that immediately is turning into something very special. Hold on. Okay. 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 So I have the Sacred Heart, and I got, I first got a Ten of Swords. So I was trying to follow my instincts on that and make sure what I was getting. And I got a Ten of Pentacles and a Devil, which really did sort of confirm what I was feeling. And it feels like what is arriving from this series of events here, mostly internal, I see, is a release and a desire to really focus on what you want and what you need the most, and going all the way, and just sort of being done with these, with like half measure, with anything that isn't contributing to your ultimate bliss in a sense. So like what I saw was a Sacred Heart, and this is a big deal. And this is where was that? I believe it's April-ish, March, April. It's springtime, and there's yeah, I feel like there's a release, meaning like just really cutting out that which isn't in your interest, and that could be like a closure with something that was highly significant. It could be like a standalone situation, but what you're trading in that act of choosing yourself, which is what the Ten of Pentacles and Devil is telling me. In that act of choosing yourself, you are, you know, if you're releasing something else that's just not led you where you wanted to be, and choosing what you truly want and what you truly need, then, okay, then we're here with the Torch, which, I mean, King of Cups. All right. This is big, carrying big emotional energy. Let's see. I don't know why I'm writing these parts down, but anyway. So for this Torch, you know, there's a sense of passing that passion and that flame and that desire on to the next chapter, on to okay, yeah, on to a highly developed state of emotionality. This could be technically, you know, this is a court card, it's a king. It could be a person, and this is springtime. This is emerging from the Sacred Heart energy that I just talked about, which I said was, it's kind of like March through May, March, April, May. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about timing with a general, but I'm just going with it. Yeah. Okay. So from this situation where there's this release and there's like a commitment to yourself is what that really feels like, and it's a big deal. There's this King of Cups. So from this situation, this could be, like I said, it could be a person who represents a very emotionally intelligent and available energy, or it could be that you yourself are in that finally. You are there. You are ready to move forward. You are ready to move along to the next, which I feel is probably the more likely thing. I don't see why it couldn't be both, but that just depends. So at any rate, it's a great energy to get into. It makes a lot of sense coming out of this. And then let's see, where was this guy? Oh yeah. Another thing that emerges moving forward is a tortoise. Okay, Ace of Cups. So when I saw the tortoise, it feels to me like a very steady, it's a very Knight of Pentacles energy. It's a very steady forward movement from this. It's a very something with longevity. You know, a tortoise, my goodness, tortoise can live well over 100 years easily. And so we're talking about something that is a momentum that is slow and serious and intentional. And here we have the Ace of Cups. So it's a new start of a love that is something that seems to have longevity. It's something that is moving steadily. I think I said all this a lot. I struggle saying it when it seems too easy, but I mean, you're hearing what I'm saying, and if you know, you know what a tortoise is about. And an Ace of Cups is an offering of love or a fresh beginning. So this is coming right after and from this experience too, where we've got a King of Cups coming out of this and an Ace of Cups. So there's this mention of emotional availability, and there's this mention of a loving offer and an offer of passion, and something connected to maturity, longevity. This is a very I want to say like a benevolent sort of energy. It's very giving. It's very kind. It's very generous. It's very intentional, like I said, and it wants to support. Beautiful. Okay, so then coming from that, this wanted to be these guys. Okay, coming from that, I had a mated pair of birds, but I feel were birds. I got a Queen of Swords and a Page of Swords. So with these birds, even though it's a pair, I believe it's it's messaging, it's communication, information about a decision, a position, a stance. This is also, I marked as April. There's a lot happening over the next 3 months or so, 3 or 4 months. Yeah. So you've got information, decisions, questions, clarification. Probably about a situation with another person, about a relationship, about travel within this relationship, probably. Traveling, looking for this situation. Wow. So this is a lot. Okay. Where are we? All right. Now, what I essentially was feeling through all of this is that whatever's happening over the next few months, this spring time, and everything that we've walked through here, really lines out well. The cards really got what I was feeling from the cup. But then what seems to be happening here is essentially like a descent to the depths of the future. Like it's like it feels like two people going within and making decisions about the future, making decisions about travel, making decisions about how, when to communicate. Oh, I just saw something else when I was looking for that. Okay. So I had an owl, a flying owl, a little later down the line, like for something that is being planted. Oh, that's where that was. Okay, yeah, I wanted to mention that. I'll get back to that. Yeah, so so I saw this flying owl, and to me that's later. It's speaking of something happening and being in action later that is very basically divinely blessed or just deeply rooted, like something that is makes a lot of sense, something that is coming from, I don't want to say past life, but like something that is very connected to your core, something going down. But then when I was just looked at it again to refer to, oh, so I got the Hierophant with it, which just Hierophant owl. I mean, there's teaching there, there's wisdom there, there's tradition and commitment, and it's a very serious, I would say the owl and the Hierophant together is a very serious energy. It's very committed. It feels like there's something that's happening here toward the end of spring that is in the summer leading into from this, like a lot of decisions and solidification of plans and ideas about the future. But then I saw what I feel when I looked again, the owl looked more like a bat, which is also a messenger. And I got the Magician. So you got an owl and a Hierophant and a Magician and a bat. Magician, okay, bats are speaking of, hearing and receiving insight, intuition, messages from the dark, from across the way. It is a very magical symbol. And here we have the Magician. Not to mention, there's a lot of major activity here. So it started off with this like tower kind of energy, but you have the Empress and the Sun and the Devil, and then we have Hierophant, Magician. So there's a lot of like fated activity going on, a lot of stuff that is really kind of out of your control, like you're moving through with your own will, but there's definitely a connection here, like we saw earlier, where you're sort of being guided and driven. And that's what these are. This is an owl and a Hierophant and a bat and a Magician pulling you into a magical space of ancient knowledge and connection, and it's all very promising. Okay, so what I had seen up here that I neglected to mention, where's that? Okay. Oh, where did I see that? I didn't say where I saw. Oh, no, it's current. Okay. So current. Yeah, like current. I forgot to mention it up here, but it does make sense. For current energy, I got planting seeds currently that will bloom later. And I think that just really ties into like this communication with your higher self and your spirit team or whatever. Okay. Good. Blooming later. Definitely. This is later. All right. What was this? Oh, I heard the song, where was that? think it was around this time. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Around this time where I have the owl. Hold on. Hierophant. And then bat, magician. Around this time where I am here in summertime, where I describe this, I also have, I heard The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Chain, keep us together. Regardless of what the lyrics are about and what was going on between Stevie and Lindsay, who knows? I've always felt like The Chain is a very deeply connected energy. In fact, this is just a add-in, but I heard The Chain really strong a long time ago. I was driving cross country and I pulled away to pull into a circus museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin, where the Ringling Brothers are from. I was just really into that kind of stuff, and I kept hearing The Chain when I was driving and looking at these structures in Wisconsin that I'd never seen before, and I felt this really old connection. And that's what it is. It's like an old connection. Like, this is definitely past life. And I think I feel like up here I was hesitant to say that with the owl and the Hierophant, but it's here. So at any rate, I feel like by summer, I think what you're pulling in now, talking about, wanting, attracting now, is something that goes way back. Something that I think by summer is more, I want to say locked in, like more going in that direction. Yeah, okay. And then basically, interesting. Yeah, there was a whole section over here that I didn't get anything for, and now that I'm seeing it again, it's kind of ambiguous, but I really just feel, let's see. This is in the fall. It's more seed planting in the fall. Okay. There may be a connection, a hint. There may be a hint sooner, like kind of sooner. Oh, wait. A feeling. I think for some, there may be like a bit of an intuitive feeling, a psychic hit, like a deep knowing related to what can grow from everything where you are right now. I don't know if that made any sense. Okay. So then, essentially from a year from now, I got, about a year from now, I got an offer. And I'm going to get one more card for that. Interesting. Okay. It's a Nine of Cups, which is the wish fulfillment card. I honestly, genuinely, yeah. I feel like in 1 year's time, everything you're wanting will be there, will be fulfilled in ways you can't imagine right now. Everything you're dreaming of, everything you're wanting and wishing for seems to be kind of, I want to say lingering in the, just beyond this realm, like kind of being orchestrated and laid down and placed. So let's talk about a couple other things. All right. Yeah, so what I had here, I just wanted to use the Cosmic Law Oracle for a message. And I really didn't ask a question. I just wanted something to come through that is significant to this cup reading. And I got acceptance. This is very much about what I feel, because I kind of forgot about it until now, what I feel is going on right here. So it feels like a sort of just like a reminder or advice for you now. That the acceptance card is about basically, you know, you've made the agreement with the universe, spirit, the realms, your higher self, creator, whatever, angels. You've made this agreement and you're going to accept and trust. It's like faith too. You're going to accept that in order for you to get what's truly, you know, on, you know, for you, what you really want to call in, the real thing, the right thing, all of this is spoken about. It's amazing how much so. In order for this to move and flow forward gracefully and to your advantage, you really have to trust that the things that haven't worked, the things that have not panned out how you may have liked or whatever, that was a part of the plan, that was to clear the way. Again, it's another, I feel too often, I don't know if I think you just understand what I'm thinking or if it just feels cheesy for me to say some of these things, but like it's almost too easy. There's just a suggestion to practice acceptance, that you are releasing what wasn't for you in order to meet, have, see what is. And that's that. Okay. Another thing I wanted to do is use these dice. I have two 12-sided die, and I've done this before, and because there are 12 sides, I am delegating them to the months. And this may or may not connect with everyone, but I really hope if this is for anyone specific or any number of people specifically, I hope these numbers are accurate. What I am asking for is significant months in what's next in love and romance, what's on the horizon for love and romance. This is the reading that we have done. What months are most significant? Now, when I've done this, I have said, you know, it could be birth months of you and the person, or it could be months where things happen, significant things, really climactic moments in the good things in this situation over the next year. All right. Significant months. All right, we have 2, which is February, which genuinely I would say this could be right now. I'm filming this for Valentine's 2026, or it could be a year from now, or it could be so this month or a year from now, which I did speak of. I did say there's an offer a year from now with a 9 of Cups of your wish coming true. We'll see. I did say that it could also be a birth month of one of you. So that's there. That's February. And we have 4, which is April, which also did show up heavily here. As I told you, April-ish is where I saw this Sacred Heart, the Torch, and the Tortoise, which was Sacred Heart, Torch, wasn't it? Tortoise? No. Where were they? Oh, I wrote it down over here. Okay. Yeah, the Torch is the King of Cups, Tortoise, Ace of Cups, and the Sacred Heart was this stuff up here. Yeah, so that's all I had said, kind of April-ish. So this is a significant time. This is an Ace of Cups, and this is a Nine of Cups. As far as like in your reading and these dice, we have a Nine of Cups in February, if it's a year from now, and we have an Ace of Cups, among other things, in April, and or this is now, which is kind of right here with the Empress and the communication between you and your higher self. And like I said, it could be birthdays, so we could be talking about a February birthday person, which is what, Aquarius, Pisces, or April, which is Aries, Taurus. Yeah. One last thing that I wanted to do was see if I could get any psychic clues for you from my Psychic Clues deck. All right. These are, I shuffled and shuffled and shuffled, so I'm just going to basically reach in and pull some that feel right. Let me see. Hold on. A teacher, a mentor, an elder. I don't know what that's about. But there's certainly here, with the owl and the Hierophant energy, a possibility that it has to do with this. This could really be, like when I made these cards, it could be a person in your life, like a grandparent. It could be an ancestor. It could be good advice. It could be like a counselor or a philosopher, or even like an artist or writer that inspires you, or that you take useful bits of information from. I'm not sure what that's about. Beyond that, I'm just telling you what it means because it's really for you. Closure. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. So it might be regarding this closure situation that I spoke of here and here. Like there was this event that kind of put you where you are now. Maybe you're kind of here, but then we had, with the Ten of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, Devil clarifiers, there was, I believe said closure. Like there's something about finally getting it. There's something about just releasing that. And I think that it might be through something therapeutic, something inspirational, somebody else who's been there and done that. Okay, could I have a totally different type of psychic clue about this cup? Let me look at where I want a message from. Okay. I was kind of asking about this area, and I have drinks and a plan. That sounds like a date. Let's see. King of Cups, Ace. Where did I put that? Tortoise. Yeah, that's around, that's that time period we're talking about. That's like March, April, May. So there may be like it feels spontaneous. It's like, hey, or it could be a planned date. I mean, it does say a plan, but I think there's like an act of going out, or deciding to go out. Here with this King of Cups, Ace of Cups, that could be a very significant plan. And when I say drinks, like when I made the card, it's really like meant to come off as like getting together somewhat casually. So it's significant though. And let me do one more little area. Let's look at just down here. Let's look at the okay. Let's look at this activity that's in the summer. That's kind of August. I feel like there's some significant stuff in August, so ish, like summer. And that was with yeah. Okay. A phone call. November, something coming up about November, which on the cup, let's see, hold on. That's around here. That's a super open space. The November area of the cup. A phone call. Oh, so I kind of get the idea that it's something that you're not allowed to know right now, but it's good because it has to do with what comes next is where I saw this offer, this Nine of Cups. So yeah, I don't know that look what's on the bottom. I think, you know, not to be like, I know this is a love reading, but it's really good. It's really promising. These are a lot of really beautiful, good cards. If you're familiar with tarot, like there's no, some people will say the Tower and the Devil are like, I don't feel that way about, especially about majors, but I don't think cards are ever entirely one way or the other. But you do have, you know, some beautiful majors, but also, I mean, a couple of cool royals, but you got like Nine of Cups, Ace of Cups, you know, down here on what's ahead. That's good. That is love. That is, we are talking about wishes and whatnot. So I am so very curious if this will unfold for you the way I'm seeing here. And do feel free to let me know. I'm not sure how I feel about the collective cup reading like this, you know, but I really, really, really have put a lot of intentionality and attention and focus into this being for you, you know, you who chose this. So, you know, let me know. All right. Bye. Well, all right. This one's very different. This whole experience has been very different. I have this very tiny Moravia Tarot deck, and I'm going to try to sort of just get a little deeper into what I saw in the cup. I feel it's worth mentioning that the visuals did not come easy in this cup. They didn't come the way they have ever before for me. There's been something really resistant and reluctant about this particular cup the whole way through, which I intend to dive into, but also I probably I'll touch on in the intro. I will say this. So the Cosmic Law Oracle card that I got for this cup is the Law of Faith. And that card speaks about really kind of the need to lead with the heart to have faith rather than what the mind will tell you. The mind will tell you that you have to see it to believe it, but faith is believing in something that you feel. And there's really just an overall sense of control in this reading, like a resistance to let go of a certain control, a certain expectation. Leading up to doing this reading, it has been just very different from the other one, and I've been trying to figure out what it is. I did see an eagle this morning, and a bald eagle flew in front of me, no more than 20 feet away from me, in front of me, directly perpendicular across my path. I mean, I saw his eye, and I just felt this sense of, it was such a great sense of connectedness. It was like, wow. I mean, I was amazed. It was an urban residential area. And they are here, but they're not always in, you know, where our houses are. Like, they're usually more in like park areas or whatever, if we're gonna have those. I've never seen one so low like that, alone and low. It was certainly interesting and profound, and I can't help but feel it may be connected. I'm gonna have to dive in. Yeah, okay, so let me just go in here for a second. So what I do is I list the symbols that I see, the images or ideas that I get, and then I try to work through them with these cards. I'm gonna give it one more shuffle. I shuffled a lot before, but now that I've read the cup, I would like to give it another go. And of course, these are minuscule cards, so they're not easy. Let's do one more, and all right, for the first image, it's about right very now. It's kind of what got you here. All right, so a Two of Wands with what I saw as a tadpole, which I just got this sort of feeling of kind of being fresh and new to a lot of ideas, and or maybe like a next chapter of your life, or, you know, just this just born feeling, like really diving in to grow legs, to turn into what you're going to be, like it's a very descent vibe. And with the Two of Wands, I would say, you know, the Two of Wands representing like a choice or a crossroads, or, you know, choices to be made at, you know, what do you want kind of vibe. So I would say that just the very current energy and the energy that has gotten you kind of to the point where you are right now when it comes to love and romance is involving sort of a rebirth and being at a crossroads. It's fairly simple. Okay. And then I saw this one was tough. I don't know why it was so different. And I've been reading with this tea for a while now, so I don't know. It's interesting. But there was, you know, you can see it's very clumpy. Like, it's very clumpy. It's different. This particular tea has been fine. I don't know. It's interesting. I didn't do anything different. But I did find in this sort of massy clump a mushroom. So I'd like to see why. I have a Page of Swords. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the feeling I get from that is essentially that this is deep. This is a deeper inquisition. Like, you know, a Page of Swords is it can be just a simple, light kind of curiosity. Like, I often think of it as like a childlike curiosity, even though you'll hear it a lot as like the spy, and then like you know, this sort of wondering what's happening. You know, there's definitely wondering what's happening, but you know, there's a curiosity. But I really feel it's sort of a willingness to get into the darker, deeper places here. Some things that are kind of imminent. Some stuff that's going on that you have to figure out. Let me get something on that. I don't know what I think it's called a clutch of dragons. I want to say that it's called a clutch. I'm not sure. I couldn't escape that. You know what I mean? On one hand, you could say, oh, it's just your imagination. It can be whatever you want it to be. But like, I really try to like drop my gaze and sort of use like third eye focus and like see what pulls forward. And there, I just saw like a clutch. I think it's called a clutch. I think that's a reptilian cluster of like baby animals or whatever. But I was seeing this like clutch of dragons, and this is in the depths. This is like something that is currently and soon, time-wise, something that's happening, something that you want to figure out, something I mean, the Two of Wands is a decision about which way to go. The Page of Swords is a curiosity, it's questioning, it's needing more information, wanting more information, requesting. So like, I think there's like this dive into this. So why would it be Clutch of Dragons? Oh, I got an interesting feeling. It's very magical. And it's interesting too with the Law of Faith that I'm getting this strong magic vibe. And this is a Three of Pentacles. Huh. Three of Pentacles talking about collaboration, and there it is, all these like dragons, and I got this kind of feeling of like, I mean, I'm saying a clutch or like a colony, like it definitely was a group. So there's definitely a Three of Pentacles related to this sort of like, it's like magical cohorts beneath the surface, in the depths, in the darkness. Magical cohorts. I'm not sure why I'm writing it down. I think it's just easier for me to refer back to the timeline and what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. I think this is a little different than, say the other, you know, the other readings I've done or anything, but I don't feel the need to keep everything on an equal kind of format. But yeah, so I think I might like a little bit more on this real quick. Let's see, before we move on. I'm a Queen of Swords, and I was glancing over here, and I did feel I was looking at a feminine figure, which is interesting to me, because I was asking about sort of like, what is this magical cohorts about? And I was really getting this feeling, and then I got this, but I was getting this feeling of, yeah, like it's like, I mean, I dare say like it's like guides, it's like a team. With this being a Queen of Swords with a Page of Swords, I feel like, and a Queen of Swords is somebody who knows, you know, like, so it's almost, it feels to me a lot like there's this guidance there. That's interesting, because I'm seeing this feminine figure here, and I got a Queen of Swords, and she's sort of in the middle of all these dragons. It's so crazy. I actually, believe it or not, have never watched Game of Thrones, but I do know there's like the dragon mother or whatever. I know something about that. I don't know anything about it, and I wish I did, because I think that could come in handy right now. But it's almost like, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West with her flying monkeys. Like I get this sense of like this like figure. She's like in charge. She knows what's up. She's the commander, the leader, the captain or whatever. And then there's all these like mighty, magical, mystical creatures that she can reign over, and they all seem to be conspiring to help you. This is really, it truly is a very intense, weird reading. I can only just hope that anybody who's listening to this already knows me and knows how it can be. Okay, let me move on. No, I don't know where that was. Oh, I think it's up there. Okay, this is more. I swear I'll try to pull it together. All right, let's see about this. I don't feel that. I'm not feeling it. Maybe it's not what I thought it was. Huh. What is that? The Eight of Wands. There's a passing of, I want to say like a passing of lore, like an oral tradition, like a passing of a story. I guess that makes sense with them, if they're conspiring with you. This one's wild. Let me see. I'm gonna get one more on that just to. I could just be wrong about what I'm not clear on the image. I'm only getting a feeling. It's weird. So different. Oh my, okay. Okay, weird. Okay, yeah, like Oh, so with this Eight of Wands, I got the High Priestess, and I was thinking about communication. I was imagining, like, what I was feeling here is like, I almost don't want to say, it's like, I got this, like, sort of visual of, like, apes swinging through trees, and, like, some sort of, like, on a mission with a communication. There's something about that. And this is, Eight of Wands is often about communication, but it's definitely, it's movement, it's action, it could be travel, it could be something kind of suddenly picking up pace or whatever. But then the High Priestess to show up, it definitely feels like it's like secrets. It's like like I said, the lore, like passing the lore. I almost feel like you're currently, and this spring, like in this position of communicating with a deep kind of mystical team, you know, that are just sort of, like I said, conspired to enlighten you and guide you. And it's very magical and deep. I don't know what it has to do with love and romance. I'm guessing this will all play out. So what about this crow? I did see a crow face here. Right there. Springtime. Three of Wands. Three of Wands is manifestation, among other things, but the crow is a magical symbol. It's a lot of times it is a communication from magical realm type of thing, like ravens are, but community. When I think of crows, like there's a community aspect, there's a secret language aspect. And then the Three of Wands, like, yeah, okay, it feels like over the next 3 months there's this real convening deep within yourself. I feel like you're going to be on some level receiving secrets, receiving information, possibly, probably about, you know, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, kind of like where you're headed. So here, if the Two of Wands is a crossroads and a decision to make about which way to go, and then through all this like deep dive, you know, then you get this Three of Wands where you're sort of like waiting for information, something to manifest that you have sort of like taken a step toward. So just kind of like a chilling, you know, like waiting, manifesting, thinking about the future, being able to beginning to be able to see it. Whereas here it was like, I need all this deep information inside myself before I can move forward and know which way I want to go. And then here you're, you know, able to see that. I know this is very different. Where were we? Eight of Wands, High Priestess. Okay. Now, then I got into this. I'm telling you, the creatures here are interesting. And I was trying to assign them, you know, known figures, but the truth is the feeling that I really got off of what I wrote here was that I saw back-to-back kings. What I felt here, and this is April, May, what I felt here, though, it's very reminiscent of like the Dark Crystal, that the looks of some of the creatures, the Muppets, you know, in that. So there's just a really overwhelming mystical flavor to all of this. And nothing is immediate. I don't think there's really anything immediately happening with love and romance for you. However, you have such a bulk of leaves at the bottom. That's really not how I've had cups turn out as long as I've been trying to practice and hone this. So I really feel like you've got a lot coming a little farther, you know, down the line. Maybe not even this year. I don't know. But, I mean, I hopefully will uncover a little bit more, but I feel like the journey and the process is of such importance here. And it's interesting because this particular reading, the process has been wild. I don't know if I'm going to talk about in the intro, which you may have watched before, but I would be recording after this. But just in case I don't, or in case you missed it, this reading is several days after the other cup reading. And that one flowed. This one has been really an interesting process for me. It's been, it had to be this way and it had to be that way. And like, I was trying to put all these, you know, conditions on everything. And I was really trying to control exactly the right conditions for the reading to come through. Like, I felt like that was the only way. And now that I'm in it and I've started, I honestly, like, it's really wild to me. It feels almost as if this reading, gosh, it's such a no fun kind of thing, you know, when you go to YouTube to watch a reading and you want all this information. But I'm just being honest, like it feels like if you chose this, and if anything is like kind of hitting chords with you, like any of the things that I've been talking about so far, I know it's random babbling, but you know, sometimes that works. But you know, I've mentioned like Game of Thrones and dragons and the queen and then the kings and the creatures for the dark crystal, and like this mystical vibe and this like hidden, we do have a high priestess, and there's this hidden sort of like information and this being kind of brand new at this point. And I don't know if that stuff resonates at all, then maybe this is you and it's why it's coming out this way. But it feels like there's just a lot to go through in the near future, near and even a little farther out, it looks like. Let me go, let's see. So this one, oh, I didn't get cards yet. Okay, so these two kings that I see, that I said were kings, but basically like they're kind of like, you know, dark crystal looking dudes, and they've got like robes and they're sitting back to back, and they seem to be they're not at odds. And they're not like one's watching one direction, they're not on guard. What is happening with these two figures? I have a 10 of Wands. It feels like this could be about having to kind of like having to let go of losses, of burdens, of weight. You know, like a 10 of Wands is releasing the burden and like carrying all this weight and just being ready for a new beginning. But I mean, in the context of having like these two figures, this could be you with someone else. Like this could be, and this is looking like kind of like April, May. This could be irreconcilable differences and just sort of letting it go. I feel like this is reminiscent of something I got in the other reading, but that aside, let me, hold on. Yeah, there's just like, I got a Hangman. They're like in an impasse. They're at it's like, that's a very Two of Swords vibe. Like, there's just this sort of like, it's stuck. I don't feel like there's hostility between these two figures, but it feels like there's just no going forward together. It's like the end of their journey together. So maybe, you know, April, May, this spring, you're finally kind of really just ready to release. I really feel like I said that in the other reading, but let's move on. Let's see. What did I do? 10 of Wands and Hanged Man. All right. I'm going to read that part last. Let me get over here. I don't even know where it was. There was a lot I couldn't decipher. I think it might be worth noticing, worth mentioning. There was a lot I was not able to get anything on. I don't know why. Kind of bumps me out. Like, there's a part of me that wants to like scrap the whole thing and just like, I mean, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I'm recording right now and I wanted to post, but so there's a part of me that, you know, feels that pressure, but I wanted to stick with this and decipher the best I can, because sometimes I think it's okay to not know. And you know what? That's another thing about this law of faith. This particular book, what does it say? To respect this law, we need to make a choice, which is interesting because the very first card is about a choice. Believe and something happens. Like, the example they give is believe and risk being wrong, but at the same time feel connected. Or do not believe and risk living with the fear of not controlling what surrounds me, the fear of the future. I will plan everything just in case, it says. Wow. So it says, with faith, we accomplish what is impossible. Okay. I just feel like, yeah, there's a strong element here of not getting the answers and finding the beauty in that and the peace in that. Let's keep going, and I'm going to come back to that. Let me see what so I have here, I don't know, the best I could, hold on. There's a true transformation energy 6 months from now. And I wrote butterfly, but on second glance, it's definitely more mothy, but it doesn't matter. They're essentially the same. Let me get into that. What is this? And again, when I tell you that, I am still, if you saw Pan's Labyrinth, there's the little insect. I don't know. Everything I'm seeing in this is fantasy world is really, really interesting. And with this law of faith, like, I feel like you're being guided to indulge in fantasy, believe in the impossible, believe in, you know, I don't want to say why that could be. Like, it could be, it could be so many things. It could be because you're a person who's been like super depressed and you need to kind of pull yourself up from that. And, or it could be that you're, you know, just losing faith in like being able to find love and romance that, you know, for yourself, and you have to like conjure and re-believe in things almost like with the mind of a child type energy. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking crazy, but this is a very different reading. Okay. Let me get this guy. All right. So the Knight of Wands is movement, and it's a more it's a faster, more determined, kind of like knowing what you want, kind of going for it energy for sure. Okay. I think it's kicking in. I think the momentum is finally building by summer, by you know, 6 months from now. The transformation seems to be underway. Like there's a real pickup in your gait as far as like moving toward how you see this going or where you want this to be. Yeah. And let me, all right. Now there's just like all this skipping, and I got the sparrow in the winter time, by the winter. Why is this sparrow here? And I'm hearing that, oh my goodness. I'm hearing that, wow. Why do they even make cards like this? And why did I feel, wow, look at that tower. Why did I feel, listen, it had to be this deck. You have no idea. I could have done this reading any number of days between the two, and I could not until this deck, I was waiting on this deck to arrive. It had to be this deck, and I didn't even touch this deck yet. I just knew it had to be. This is so bizarre. Oh my goodness. Because I personally was feeling a lot of faith in all the ways that this had to go. I was being very particular about, you know, which tea should I use? Which, you know, just lots of like very particular pieces. I'm always particular. Like the other reading's particular too, but this one was almost like there was a lot of hesitation. There were a lot of like delays. There were some obstacles. Things have been less than ideal when what I wanted was there. What I want is a nice sunny day. Had some sunny days, didn't have my shit together to do this for you, or I was at work one of the sunny days, you know what I mean? Now it's like dark and rainy and becoming evening quickly, and like I'm having to use a lamp, and nothing really went the way I really, really wanted it to. But at the same time, I knew it had to be, this way, or I wasn't going to be able to do it. And like the thing is, I'm barely able to do this, as you can see. Like there's something very interesting going on with you and this. I'm going to get into it, I swear. Why is this sparrow here for winter? Oh, so I was hearing the justice. Okay, it's coming. Oh, when I said sparrow, I heard Dolly Parton. There's a song called Little Sparrow. Precious, fragile little thing. I would have to, I'm not going to sing it. Oh, you should look it up if you don't know it. Dolly Parton, Little Sparrow. What is that song about? Why am I know it well. You would think I could tell you off the top of my head. I swear, like right now I can't think of the lyrics, but I do know it well. Yeah, there's something misty mountain magic about your whole reading and this vibe for what's coming. I don't know. I don't know. So we got justice for it though, which really feels and tells me that, like, especially at the Knight of Wands, like, it's coming, you know what I mean? Like, it's Sparrow's a bird nonetheless, and so, like, something will be sort of arriving by way of, like, information or action, or, like, there's something is meeting you there, is the feeling I get. Like, you're moving this way and something is meeting you there. And tell me more. Let me get one more for this. Justice. I just suddenly, my head just started hurting really bad. The moon. Yeah, something you don't know. Something you can't see right now. Something I can't see right now. Something to be revealed in time. But something that's right and fair. I mean, is this like, how does this, can I know how it pertains? Is it related to love and romance? Six of Wands. Very positive. Yeah. I think, I think there might be something you need to do on your own and clear. It's like a rebuild of your own esteem. And it's not that I was getting like all this like, you know, lack of self-esteem or anything. But it just feels like you've been going through a lot and still are. It's kind of like this vibe that like you would think it would be over and you would have like learned and moved on by now, but it's like, nah, you still have so much to dig up. Like there's so much. I don't know. Weird. And then I saw, oh, there she is. Wow. Okay. I think that's a Knight of Pentacles. And what I saw here was like it's like I wrote Queen because it feels like a woman figure sitting. So I just naturally was thinking on a throne. But I'll be honest with you, looking at it again with fresh eyes, I just immediately, and it's funny because I brought it up in the last reading I did, there's been this like strong Kuan Yin, is that her name? Presence. There's been this strong Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion and mercy. I think it is unto yourself. And you're rebuilding. Hold on. Page of Wands. This is crazy. All right. Tower's back. Oh my. Wow, that was obnoxious. Okay. Yeah. What? All right. Why is all this down here in the distant future? undecipherable mass. Yeah. Eight of Swords and a Sun. I feel like it seems like for the time being, you may be feeling just sort of stuck and seeking. It's the Sun, like, see, you know, sort of Eight of Swords and Sun I got. So it just feels like it has to do with having to get out of a mind trap and a mental kind of cage. Honestly, I mean, just to put it in plain terms, it feels like some like mental healing. Yeah. Love and romance. The general vibe of love and romance coming up. At any point coming up for people in this group. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there's a lot about like when the tides turn and your luck changes and like right time, right place, destiny, just things coming around in due time. Nine of Pentacles, hang in there, you know, like it's just, this is wild. And the Ace of Wands, it will return when kind of like right time, right place. You got yourself back up on solid ground, you know, feeling right within. You know that Lauryn Hill song, and she says, how you gonna win? Something about getting right with it. I don't know why I can't remember lyrics now. That's like one of my strong suits. It's weird. Ace of Wands. There will be a beginning. There will be a fiery, passionate beginning. But it feels like it's like kind of like you don't have any control over it. And it's just like it's a destiny thing. And it just, your focus has to be on just getting yourself where you want to be, like just taking care of your own business and getting your spark back. This is crazy. All right. Yeah, you have to have faith. That's the Hierophant. There's something going on. And I'm so uncomfortable with the fact that this, you know, this is like, I'm doing these 2 Valentine's Day readings and I wanted them to be really sweet and everything. And this is hopeful and it is hopefully helpful to someone, but like, it's not like, oh yeah, the love of your life is coming in X amount of months and you'll know because of this or that. It's like, there's a lot going on with you. And the most important thing you can do right now is focus on, you know, just rebuilding your core and like your sense of connectedness. I don't really know what more, how long I could possibly drag this out and how painful it really needs to be. Let me see here. What do we got going on? Oh yeah, this is very long. That's cuckoo. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I used the psychic clue cards in the other one, and I'm going to do it again here for you. Can we have any psychic clues with regard to love and romance for this group? They're so hard to shuffle, I have to like separate the deck. I have a method. All right. Okay. What's a message we can have? Psychic clue about love and romance. Okay, this one. A beautiful message. And learn. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I get this strong sort of feeling off that like it doesn't have to be a bad reading, you know, even if it feels a little flat or doesn't like make you these wild promises or whatever. Like the important message is about like learning something. Maybe psychic clues about love and romance. But I do think that there's someone who could send you something. I think you're rebuilding your comfort zone, to be honest. I don't know what has happened. Out with friends. Yeah, get your groove back. Get comfortable in your old skin again. Your own skin again. You might have like... I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say that. Okay, never mind. Uh-oh. Okay, let me get two more. Teacher, mentor, elder. I feel like that one came out in the other one. It comes out all the time. To me, this has to do with like people who can guide you. Advice, you know. January. See, that's a long way from now. That's all the way around. Something's up. I feel like you're gonna come out on top at some point here, but it may be a bit of a struggle along the way. And I just wanted to look again over here. Yeah, there are 0 cups. 0 cups. There's some wands, pentacles. Mostly wands and pentacles, which is magic in my mind. But then there's some swords, some mental stuff. There are no cups. You have a high priestess, which is a water energy, but it's not like the same. And the moon is also a water. So you've got 2 water majors. Wait, is that it? Hanged Man is Pisces. Oh, I thought high priestess was. So anyway, I find that interesting. Hierophant is earth, fire. Tower could be fire. If it's... Anyway, let's not get into all that. Justice, air. Any water that you have here, you have no cups. What you have here, in as far as water goes, is in majors. So it's really just like coming from your guidance. You know, like you're being restored. Feels like you're being like spiritually fortified. Crazy. I was doing these 12-sided dice to try to get like 2 significant months for love and romance. I'm gonna still do it, even though I don't feel like there's a real... I didn't sense a real solid answer on something coming in, because it feels like it's mostly just like time to work. I know that's no fun, But you can have fun doing other things. Like, I don't know why I'm being such a downer about this, except that I feel like this pressure to deliver. But like, honestly, like building your own like self up and your own deal, your own like home, career, projects, plans, like getting your own life how you want it, like that doesn't have to be lonely or bad necessarily, you know what I mean? All right, let's get some significant months for this person here. We have a 5 and a 6. May, June. I don't know. May, June. What was going on here in May, June? We had yeah, that's the that's where I was talking about this sort of release. June is actually really open. That's more May. That these two these two May and June are actually kind of this area, which is for the most part empty. So I feel like, and it's conveniently sitting on top of this moon card, I feel like there could be like some important healing happening at that point, you know? Oh, wow. This is interesting. Okay. I think I gotta close this down because I think I did everything I did in the other as far as like cards go and questions and stuff. It didn't deliver, you know, what I thought it was supposed to tell you. The process leading up to this reading was not delivering the way I thought it should go, the way I planned. Things are not, take away this. Things may not work out the way you plan, the way you think it should look. Maybe it isn't seeing is believing. Maybe it's believing is, you know, a better key to manifestation, you know, than needing things to look a certain way in order to believe they're working. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. Man, I don't know if anyone could deal with any of that. I'm not sure I would deal with any of that. But as far as like my talking, my reading, if you did, wow. And if it actually sort of hit anyone in the right spot, that would be very interesting to me. Something that happens because I was so many days ago since I did the first reading, and then there was so much time in between readings, was that I was able to do a lot of reflecting. And there were things that were coming to me still after about the first one that I wanted to go back in and say, but I was like, no. Like, just let it go. You know what I mean? So I'm always curious because sometimes I think what I say under pressure and the allotted time is just a tip of the iceberg, you know? Anyway, that's it. There we are. And, whew. You got this. I don't know. There's nothing like horrible. Everything kind of led to just like this one sort of like stage, you know, like this one is very healing. I think there's just a lot of healing going on. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.